ISRO scientists leaving in huge numbers.
Reports say 100 to 120 ISRO scientists and engineers have now resigned in just the last few months.
Has this ever happened before? Can the government stop them? What is government doing about this? And most importantly, what is this going to the big space missions that have been planned? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to look at this ISRO exodus of scientists that is happening, that has been highlighted, that how more than 100 scientists are either taking early retirement or deciding to choose a private job in this particular sector. So when we are looking at this, the whole session today would be dedicated to understand that even though this is something that has been happening, even though government has maintained attrition, but at the same time, this exodus, this moving of scientists out of ISRO is indication of how the space sector is transitioning, the monopoly of the public players is going away, and the private sector is here to raise the stakes higher. But the question is, how? So let us try to understand all of this from scratch, starting with understanding that what are the numbers and problem that we are looking at. So the problem that is in front of us is the fact that as of now we are seeing that 100 to 120 almost scientists have resigned or taken early retirement from our space agency, National Space Agency, that is ISRO. Now, the number that we are seeing in the recent months is somewhere around 100 plus, even though there have been no direct confirmations on that. And the problematic thing here is that when we are looking at this number is concentrated in two very important places. Now, what are these important places? These important places are UR Rao Satellite Center, and the second one, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. And now as this resignation started piling up, early retirement appeals, approval schemes started coming in huge numbers, what did the government do? Government decided to tighten the rules, and that is why Department of Space came in and tightened the resignation rules, and especially for the scientists who are working on flagship missions. Now, there are certain important things that we need to understand after this overview. First, why are scientists leaving? Is something wrong or is something right? Second, is government going to allow them? Does government has the power to allow them or stop them at all? And then, of course, most importantly, what is the transition that we are talking about, which I just mentioned? So, starting with understanding that why exactly these scientists are leaving. Now, when we are looking into the why, the first thing that I would like to point out again that I have already mentioned is the fact that this is not about number of resignations. It is about the fact that how the space sector in our country, which was monopolized by public company, it is going to be open. It has been opened, and now the progress is being made in the private sector, making the stakes higher. So the situation as of now is not about number of resignation for ISRO. The situation here is that ISRO is losing out on the expertise, and why experts are not ready to stay with ISRO. Now there are three big main reasons to it. The first main reason is that once you are looking at a job, no matter how passionate you are, you would want some money to come with it. You would want better financial opportunities, better leadership roles, probably some flexible work culture. Your aspirations also rise. But when we are looking at the scientists who are in the public sector of our space industry, specifically ISRO, this was not available. So our scientists move to better opportunities which are being provided by the private players which have entered the space sector. Now, when we are talking about the rise of private space sector, it also means that better opportunities are available in form of better pay, in form of ESOP. That means if you are entering the company, you will have some ownership there. That means you can get better leadership roles, you can have flexible work culture, and so much more. Now, how is this happening? Because we have more private players, as I mentioned, and private players are not just namesake. They are working, they are changing, they are contributing, and they are expanding. Because since the 2020 space sector reforms have brought in, we are seeing expansion of private companies rapidly. Be it the Skyroot Aerospace, be it the Agnikul Cosmos, Digiyantra, Dhruv Space, and so many more. Now what I have mentioned here, two of these things, these are the pull factors that scientists are being pulled out of ISRO. Now let me tell you the push factor which is also present. Because when we are looking at organizations such as ISRO, we do have multiple internal challenges also present. When we are looking at the hierarchy, when we are looking at the cumbersome roles, when we are looking at the delayed missions, be it Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan, the Bharat space station that we are talking about, all of them running delayed, which not only takes away the passion, the zeal to work on these missions, but it also takes away the opportunities part that I've been talking about in terms of private players. And this all leads to a limited career progression. So now the ISRO scientists, because of the pull factors, they have better options available, at least option. Earlier there were no options at all. Now they have options available and better options also on the table, and that is why we are seeing the movement of scientists away from ISRO to better opportunities, and when we are seeing limited career progression in the public sector itself. But at the same time, let me tell you, this is not happening for the first time. That means the exodus that we are talking about, scientists moving out of ISRO, this is not the first time. For example, if you look at 2004 to 7, large number of young recruits, they reportedly left ISRO. If you look from 2012 to 2024, more than 700 employees, they have already resigned. But the reason as of now, this 100 plus number is making so much noise, is creating so much trouble and concern, is because of the fact they are linked with very important missions such as Chandrayaan 3, such as Space Dex, Gaganyaan, LVM-3 and more. So in this context, these are the biggest missions lined up for India. India's name is involved, India's global image at stake. So this is where we are losing on the expertise, we are losing on the experience. The recruit might be replaceable, but the experience is irreplaceable. So in this context, this is generating a lot of worry. So now the question comes, if this has been happening earlier and this is happening again, and if this is a problematic thing for India's image, for India's big missions, government should stop it, die dead in the tracks. But government cannot do that. Legally, government cannot stop. Government can definitely bring in a proper approval process, and that is why the government has responded with a memorandum. A memorandum has been issued that the scientists who are working on Gaganyaan and other flagship missions, they cannot leave. That means there is a clause related to it. They can leave, but they have to take a proper approval. The regular routine approval will not work. Now, what is that proper approval? There is a new approval process that have been placed. Earlier it was the center director, he was the one who could approve resignation, but now the center director's powers has been changed, it has been taken away, and the final approval will be coming from the Department of Space. Apart from that, the government has also come up with more recruitment, where 1,000 plus scientific and technical posts have already been announced, and a cadre review is creating higher grade positions so that these positions can be also filled. This is where I want to ask a question to you, that do you think this will solve the problem that has been created, or is this just a delay of the problem and the concerns on the table? Because this is where the government, the Department of Space, ISRO needs to recognize that after 2020, the space sector reforms that they had brought for the betterment of the space industry, for the space sector, that has changed the framework of the space sector in our country. As of now, we have public and private ecosystem present, and this is when Government needs to level up. Government needs to come up with better incentives. The government needs to come up with better salaries, better options, better career progression, better leadership roles, flexible work culture and more, so as to better compete with private. And at the same time, government also needs to integrate itself with the private sector. Otherwise, this is just the tip of the iceberg, the start of an avalanche, where our most premier agencies, which has given the best missions for India, which has created history for India, that might be outshadowed, overpowered with the private sector, the policies that it is making and the money it is offering. So if the concerns are not addressed with proper reforms, then in the coming time, these concerns that we have seen right now, they are only going to be heightened. We will be losing on institutional memory. That means we will be losing on skills, experience people have created over years. Our flagship missions will be in danger, not just the ones which are present now, but the ones which we will be announcing in future as well. And this is where talent competition will get intensive, because as of now the government monopoly is gone. We have a proper public private ecosystem right present in front of us. Now the question here to you is, what should be the way forward? In between, I have already given hints. Let me know in the comment section. I'll also be leaving you here with the prelims practice question. Very easy question. I'm sure you can answer it. Let me know the answer to this in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answers. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.